Hey guys, welcome back. Today is another Chit Chat Get Ready With Me day. So I'm just going to get started. We're going to do another lipstick today. Last time I said I was going to use the BB cream, but then I used a primer. So today I think I am going to use the BB cream. And that primer that I used, I'll link the video down in the information bar. The primer that I used, the sprays on kind of gloppy. So you're supposed to be able to use it as a setting spray, but there's no way you could use it as a setting spray because unless you used a sponge or something to spread it out, because it is just, this is really light for me right now. It just sprays on in sort of big droplets. The sprayer is not very conducive for a setting spray. So, I don't know. You can use it as a primer, you could use it just for moisturizing purposes if you're not wearing makeup, but I don't think you, unfortunately, can really use it as a setting spray just because of the application issue. So that's kind of a bummer. This is the Rimmel BB Cream Radiance 9-in-1 Skin Perfecting Super Makeup with broad spectrum SPF 20 in the shade Light. Which is too light for me right now, but that's okay. We will make it work. You can see though that it's got good coverage for BB cream because it's lightened my face up. Need to get some more concealers to experiment with. I don't have that many concealers. Concealer and foundation for me are just, I don't know. I know a lot of people really love buying those things. Those are the things they always are searching for new ones. I'm a color girl. I'm always drawn to the color. It's a visual thing for me. And so I tend to just like replace the things that I use and that I know that I like, and I never really experiment, or I don't stock up on other types of concealers. Concealers is one of the things that I'm the worst at. Concealers, brow products, powders, face powders, because I don't set my makeup. I don't believe in that. I use a face powder that takes down my redness, and I do believe in using a powder if you tend to get shiny through the day, or oily. Keep a powder in your bag with a puff and put it on, and it will take the shine away. But I don't have a problem with that, so I don't really need to do it. That's something I did, in high school because everybody sort of did it, and that was kind of the makeup thing that you could sort of do, and there was a mirror in the compact, and so you could, pull out your compact and pat yourself down and check your teeth and, make sure you look cute. Back in the school days. But, these days, I'm lucky if I even touch my makeup again at all once I've left the house. Occasionally I'll redo my lipstick. I do put on chapstick, like if my lips are feeling dry, I'll put some chapstick on. But I hardly ever retouch later in the day. Probably should, but sorry, there's a hair floating around here somewhere. So I just never do that. And, but anyway, so powders are not something I buy really that often. And then foundations either. I have more foundations mainly because I specifically made it a point to buy some different ones to try. So, I've done that a little bit with foundations, but I need to do that, especially with concealers, because I don't know, I use the ones I use, and I tend to be real picky about concealers, so I pick the ones that I really like, sort of straight out of the gate, so then I don't really ever feel like I need to experiment. Now like this one, I really should go up in color one notch because I'm tan now and it's a little bit too light. But, I don't know, I just haven't. I just haven't, so I really should do that. So if you have any concealers that you recommend for me trying, I'm not particularly dry or oily. I do have, some fine lines underneath here. So I would need something that doesn't crease. I don't really want something that would make my skin feel or look super dry under the eyes. And then the other concealer that I use to cover up my sunspots over here. So for the face, I don't deal with acne. I do get flare-ups from food, but they're blisters more than acne. And so like I have a couple here. I had Taco Bell for lunch yesterday, and by the time I got home, it had done its damage to my skin. So sometimes I cover those up just kind of in passing. If I'm doing this and I happen to notice one that's really red, then sometimes I will go ahead and cover it up. But I really don't use concealer on the face for blemishes or acne or anything that often. I really just use it to cover up my sun damage. So for a concealer that I would need for the face, it would need to be something that's skin tone, has good color options, and is thicker, because I really need it to cover up everything and not be see-through at all. But it also needs to blend really well, because I just need a little tiny bit of it, and my foundation may not be super full covered, and so I need it to blend in around that spot without the spots sort of standing out. So if you have any suggestions on products that do that, then let me know in the comments, because maybe I will pick them up to give them a try, because I really do need to experiment with more kinds. I might find something I like better than this. Although I've been at this for a long time, so I pretty much know what works and what doesn't for my needs, but I still will try anything. So speaking of Taco Bell, I actually have started this thing. I've done it before, just not this way before, and I am back to completely cutting things out of my diet. I have done it before when I was testing foods on myself, just to test and see which foods were causing me symptoms. So I have a grasp on that, and I know when I eat something what it's going to do to me, okay? But I have not experimented with actual ingredients yet. And I'm not really doing this for that purpose, because I already pretty much know what I can have and what I can't have and what causes problems for me. So now what I'm doing is more just general health related, where I'm just cutting out bad ingredients. I'm cutting one thing out a month. So last month I cut out high fructose corn syrup. This month I am cutting out sodium benzoate, and still high fructose corn syrup. I mean, once I cut it out, I'm not putting it back in my diet the next time. I'm cutting it out and leaving it out. And the reason I'm doing one a month is because it gives me the whole month to sort of, if it's something that your body becomes addicted to, like high fructose corn syrup, it gives me the whole month to deal with any withdrawal symptoms or any kind of, cravings, which are withdrawal symptoms. It just gives me time to sort of get used to not having it in my system anymore. before I cut something else out. Because if you cut too many things out at one time, you're going to fail because you're going to be having withdrawals from all different things, and, you know, your body's not going to know what the heck's going on. So I'm just doing one ingredient at a time. So I thought about maybe making that a series. I'm trying to get to doing 4 to 5 videos a week and seeing if I can maintain that. So I'm just trying to think of, you know, different sort of series that you guys would be interested in. So I thought I would maybe do that. But I don't know if I can really talk about that every single week, other than to sort of give you updates of, like, my accomplishments and failures on what I have cut out, like, you know, introduce the product that I'm cutting out, and then, you know, and then each week sort of tell you, oh, I did really well this week, or, oh, I slipped up because I had this thing, or, you know, whatever. I haven't thrown this away from my refrigerator, so I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. So if you would be interested in something like that, leave a comment so that I know, because maybe that would be something I could do on a weekly basis too. And I'm trying to do hauls on Fridays. On Thursdays I'm doing Get Ready With Me's. On Wednesdays I'm doing my media series. So maybe I could do those on Tuesdays. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Just in cutting out high fructose corn syrup, I wouldn't say that I've lost a bunch of weight, because I haven't, but my clothes are fitting a little more loosely. So it's affecting my weight, but it's also affecting my inflammation and being swollen. There is a little gnat flying around here, and he's about to be a dead gnat. No, missed him. It's also affecting my inflammation, so I'm not nearly as swollen and puffed up. So that's part of why my clothes are a little more loose, because if you're not swollen, you're not swollen. This is just my same powder that I use all the time. You can't buy it, so it's just a light color powder that I use to lighten my redness. I think for bronzing today, I'm going to use the Strobe of Genius Illuminating Palette from NYX. I'm going to use this dark shade here, which I know is going to be a little shimmery, but that doesn't bother me at all with contouring, especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's a little more obvious because people just in general are less glowy and healthy and whatnot in the wintertime anyway, just because they're not out in the sun. But definitely in the summertime, it doesn't bother me if it's got a little shine or shimmer to it. And I will use it if I can get the box open. Good grief. That was ridiculous. I'm using a pretty intense color today on the lips. This is the Mark Lipclick Matte Full Color Lipstick in the color Vixen. And this is a pretty intense, deep, eggplant-y sort of purple that will have some violet tones to it, more than likely on the lips. I'm putting it on pretty sheer because I want it to be a little less intense and have a little bit of a pink hue to it. think on the eyes I'm going to try this LA Colors palette today. This is the Bold Eyes palette in Daring. Something that was given to me for Christmas. And I haven't tried it yet, so let's just see what it does. So I'm going to use the pink color on the base of the eye. Actually, I think I'm going to just use it all over and put down just a color base, and we'll let the colors sort of blend together and see what happens. Because that'll make a nice highlight under the brow bone too. So. And then next I'm going to go into this sort of brown shade here up in the corner, and that's what I'm going to use kind of in the crease, smoking up towards the brow bone, and I'm going to use it here in the outer half of the eye as well. So I'm just going in with my angled eyeshadow brush, as I always do. I'm just going to take it across the crease, down to create a V, and I'm going to drag it in to fill in that outer half of the eye. And now I'm going to go into this black down here to really define the outer V. So I'm just going to like really get it in here in the crease and then create the V in the outer corner. More intense than I was expecting. And let me just soften the edges of that a little bit. I think I'm going to take some of that brown under the eye as well, just a little bit. And then I'm going to use a little of the pink over that as well. And I'm going to take the pink into the inner corner. Then I'm going to use the Stila Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner. And I'm going to soften it with a brush. And I'm just going to use my normal brow powder. And on the lashes, I'm going to use my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. And for blush, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Studio Blush Palette. This is number 83314 in light. And I'm just going to use this lightest pink shade here just for a little slight flush of color. And then I'm going to run a little of this sort of light champagne-y color over the tops of my cheeks. There you go. What do you think? Pretty, right? Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, have a good day.